We're getting so close, I can almost see the finish line, so hang in there. We now have the hash and the count. So we can finalize this function of getPasswordLeaksCount. In here, as we're looping through each item, what do we want to check? Well, we want to check that if the hash, that is the tail of the hash here, is equal to hash to check. Remember, hash to check is the tail end of our hashed password that we never send to anybody. That is on our own machine, so it's nice and secure. And we're going to check this because the API returned us a list of these tailed hashes. So if that matches, well, in that case, I want you to return the count. So I want to return how many times this password has been leaked. Otherwise, just return 0. Again, I can do this because it's going to exit out of this loop whenever it sees the return keyword. Now, in my pwned API check, I'm going to run this function, which in tail is going to grab all this information and return the count of the times that the hashed password has been leaked. So we have one last thing to do. That is the ability to actually print out the result of all these calculations. So let's remove this for now and create a main function. And this main function is going to receive the arguments that we give it right in here in our command line. So we're going to import, as you might have seen before, the sys module. And in here, we're going to have a main function that receives the arguments, which is the passwords that we want to check. And for now, we'll just pass here. But at the bottom, we're going to call the main function with the sys.argv and accept any number of arguments after we do the Python 3 checkMyPass.py, and then we give it all the arguments that we want, which are the passwords. So we're going to run the function like this. This main function, all it's going to do is we're going to say for password in the arguments, because we can give it multiple passwords. We're going to loop through that, and we're going to have a SHA-1 and a count, or we'll just do the count because we're going to receive the count from the getPasswordLeaksCount. So we can do that by just doing pwned API check, and we'll pass it the password that we're checking. And all we're going to do is actually inside of this block say if count exists. In that case, I want you to print an F string, and this F string is going to say the password that we're looping through was found, the count of how many times, and then we'll say you should probably change your password. Otherwise, if that means there's no count, that is, there were no matches, then you're all good. We can say fstring password was not found. Carry on. So that's a good password. You should carry on, you're all good. And then finally, just for fun, let's return out of this function, return done. Just like that. If I save this, let's see what this gives us. I'm going to say Python 3, check my pass, and let's just check hello. I get hello was not found, carry on. But we know that hello was found before, right? I mean, that's a simple password. We should actually get something good here. Now, I also want to remove this response of print since we don't need it anymore. Can you spot the error? Again, this is a bit of a tricky part with Python, right? It's the indentation and something that we've seen before. So you want to get good at debugging your own code and figuring out what happens. In this case, we can go step by step through the code, but we can think, we actually never tested this count function. And if we look over here, our indentation is a little bit off, right? We have the if check, but then we always return 0. This return should be like this. After the for loop. After we've checked everything, nothing has been matched, then we should return 0. So if I save and run this again, all right, now it's working. You notice that one simple slight error can give you completely different results. So it's always good to go step by step and try out something with something that you already know works. And it's also important to use your debugging skills that you'll develop throughout the course to try and figure things out. Now, no programmer is going to write a perfect program right out of the bat. Most of the time, you're trying to figure out why you're getting this error, why this is happening. And this is just something that you become better and better at as you code. So the only cure to this is to just keep coding. Hopefully, throughout the course, you've seen some of the errors that I make and how I debug them so that you start to adopt these patterns as well. Anyway, this is awesome. This is finally working. Let's try a couple more things. Let's say buy and then some gibberish. All right, looks like this is working as well. This is awesome. Our password checker is working. Now I want to do one more thing here to finish out this project, so let's do that in the next video.